Hello and welcome to this very special, special. It's special, and that's because we get to role play, and that's always a fun occasion. I've got some amazing folk with me. I love role playing with these guys. Let me introduce you to them very quickly before I tell you what we're going to be doing. So we have all the way from the other side of the planet, upside down, and in the land of the kangaroos, we've got Michael. How you doing, Michael?
G'day guys. Yeah, I'm doing great. I can't wait for today. Today is going to be just so much fun playing Korash.
Aha, yes, Korash the warrior, right?
Yes, he is a fighter, human, and a guard to boot.
There you go.
Wielder of a warhammer that he is going to call Strom.
Strom, I like it.
Strom.
From Warhammer.
I just made it up. Named my hammer Strom.
Lovely. Then from a not so snowy but still probably very cold Canada, how are you doing, Kai?
I'm doing good. I'm warm in my little hoodie.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm slightly jealous.
Yeah. Oh, it should be very warm. And I'll be playing Venfine, the druid.
Venfine the druid. Ah, okay. And then Till, thank you for joining us at such short notice.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm a little bit sad because unfortunately Freddie, who was lending his voice in the short clip that we shot, he had to cancel because of scheduling issues. And I said, well, I step in. So today I'm playing Skados, the Tiefling Warlock. And I would have loved to see that being played by Freddie, but I'm sure we will find another time and another place where we can play, or he can play it. So yes, I'm the replacement guy today, and I'm happy to play that one.
I was about to say,
we love you.
Not such a burden to have to step in and play, I'm fairly sure. So what are we playing? What is this whole thing? Why are we here? Well, with the launch of the new DungeonFog campaign, in terms of promoting DungeonFog, there was a suggestion that we take the amazing story that is included in that campaign and we turn it into a campaign. So that's what I've done. I've printed it out here. So it's called Bring It On. It's a campaign adventure. Well, it's an adventure for level 2 to 4 players using the Dungeons and Dragons system. So it's written under the OGL, and it basically takes you through what's actually happening in the campaign video. So if you get to see that, you'll see the super cool animation. It's beautiful and it's really dramatic and fun. Well, now we get to see how it would actually play out with real characters. And whether they're going to make it to the very end or not, well, let's see. I hope you do. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be playing, and without any further delay, you've met the characters, you've met the players, you've met me, I'm the GM. Let's jump straight into it. So I'm going to be running this module as closely as possible. The module is available on DriveThruRPG under the How to Be a Great GM banner. It is also available on our website, How to Be a Great GM, as well as on the DungeonFog website. So you can get this. It's been DungeonFog put it together. You guys did a great job on this, and yes, so you can go and pick up a copy and play with your mates as well. So there we go, and that is where we start our story. You smell the fresh air as you stand aboard the deck of the Fogbreaker, a sleek airship. You and your companions are bound for distant lands, and this was the fastest and cheapest way to get there. Captain Keen, a half-elf who clearly loves his job, is standing next to you. The wind whips through your hair, and so the three of you find yourselves on board this ship. That's what you are seeing there. That's the airship in all its glory. Captain Keen is standing next to you. I don't have a token for him, sadly. But yes, you guys are on the airship, flying at about 1,000 feet above the tree line. And Keen looks particularly happy with himself and turns to you and he says, well, I have to say, we're making excellent time. We're going to get there probably at least 4 hours early. What do you think about that, eh?
Well done. I'm impressed. I'm going to let you lean over and watch all the tree tops and everything drift by me.
As a matter of fact, oh, sorry, sir, he says, looking at you.
Korash leans a little bit heavily on one of the nearby structures. As he does, he says, "Verily, 4 hours is faster, yes, but still not fast enough. I feel as though my breakfast is making a return to combat."
Oh, no. Are you going to be alright?
I will be fine, Velphine. Just I need a minute to compose my.
No, bucket, fetch a bucket. Young sailor goes rushing off to try and find a bucket. What's Skados doing while this is going on?
So I would have been standing next to Korash until he started to, how do you call it, regurgitate?
Yeah.
So by then I would be slowly leaving to one of the air sails, and I would be just very interested in understanding how this whole mechanic works. And I would be just looking at that, trying to understand. I'm very interested in science, and I'm very interested in magic. So I'm trying to discern how this airship is staying up in the air.
Fantastic.
I'm playing with the wind. You know, like when you're a kid and you stick your hand out the car and the wind plays with your hand? I'm doing that off the side of the boat.
Fantastic.
I am doing what is colloquially known as feeding the squirrels.
Oh dear. Yes, a young sailor has found a bucket and has brought it over to you. Captain Keen sort of looks at you with a worried sort of expression. Then he looks over at Venpine and says, as a matter of fact, we were actually passing over Bright Glade Wood, known for its beauty and tranquility. Sadly, we can't land; it's dense. But that's what you're seeing below you.
It's gorgeous.
Looking beneath you, you spy what looks like a temple, half strangled in the forest below. Then a cloud blocks all sight of the ruins. Suddenly, a black beam of pure evil magical energy bursts through the clouds from somewhere below and slams into the fog breaker, sending crew sailing through the air. All of you need to make a dexterity check as this thing blasts into the side of the ship.
Okay, Dex.
12.
10.
19.
Everybody goes flying except for Venpine. As you watch Skados is bashed against the side of the ship, one of those sails he was examining suddenly reaches upwards and slams you in the side of the head. You take 1 point of damage from that, and poor old Korash, you take 2 points of damage as the bucket and you become one for a brief moment.
Oh!
There's a spray of we don't want to know what as you land on your back on the deck.
Oh God.
And that's how Korash got his helmet.
Now, the ship, this beam has struck it, and you can feel the whole thing. It seems to be dipping. It's no longer the smooth ride that it was. It's starting to dip. The crew and Captain Keen have been thrown about just as violently as you were. They have not recovered nearly as well as you have. And you can see the wheel that they use for navigation is rotating left and then right and then left and then right. What are you doing? Venpine.
All right. So as it's starting to start shifting,
yeah.
I probably saw the blast coming, so I grabbed onto the thing and braced myself. I'm going to try to get anyone who's falling or looks like they're going to be fall off board if they lost their balance. I'm going to try to catch them.
Fantastic.
Pull them back.
I need you to give me an acrobatics check because there are 3 sailors who are desperately hanging onto the side of the ship calling for help. No?
None.
A natural 1?
I rolled a natural one. I
Oh
fall.
my goodness. All right, so you were rushing towards the side of the ship to save a sailor when you slipped on some liquid that's been sprayed out across the deck. And
Probably a
you
bucket.
slip out over the sail of the ship right in front of Skados. Skados, what are you doing?
Ah!
Well, I feel the only thing I
Bye.
can. Bye. The only thing I can do is I kind of quickly tap my shoulder and cast guidance on myself, and then I jump behind and try to catch her.
You jump
Like,
in.
not off, but
Ah.
like I do have a tail, so I would assume that my tail is kind of holding to the railing while
Right.
I'm going
Leaping out.
over. And yeah.
I think that give me an acrobatics check as well, please, as you leap after the disappearing form of Vempine.
What was it? Sorry, what did you say?
Acrobatics.
Dexterity?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Well, that could have been better. It's still a 17 though.
17. You reach out, you grab onto Venpine's calf.
Enfine.
Venfine. You always give me names I struggle with. Venfine, sorry. You reach out to Venfine and you grab her boot, your tail wrapping around the side of the balustrade of the ship, hanging now 900 feet above this forest, which it doesn't look as bright and green as you thought it was, but nonetheless, you have managed to grab on. Karosh, what are you doing?
Grimgrax, Boo, Greybeard, what hit us?
All you can see is this bright pink tail wrapped around the balustrade and the sounds of Venfine and Skaros drifting on the wind. Skados.
Is it Skadoosh?
Skadoosh. That's a sound that we'll make.
Skadoosh!
Skados.
Skados.
Yes. So what are you doing, Karosh?
Well, I'll walk straight up to the edge and sort of grab Skados by the belt just above where his tail is.
Yes.
What are you doing over there?
Ah!
And I'll pull.
Like dangling underneath him.
I'll try to basically hoist both of them back onto the deck. But as he sort of leans out over the edge and grabs onto the belt, in a fleeting moment, he forgot where he was. As he looks down and all of a sudden the tree line sort of zooms in and zooms out, he just goes, ooh, and he uses his whole body weight to just lean backwards while still holding them to pull them back onto the deck.
Absolutely. It's a heavy weight because they can't help you. Give me a strength check.
Can this be an athletics check, maybe?
Yes, sure. You're trying to
Hooray!
deadlift hanging people? Go for it.
All right. That is a 21.
You haul both of them up onto the side, and you can you lie there for a brief moment. Keen has got to the wheel of the ship, and he's sort of trying to wrest it under control. He looks at you, and he goes, brace? Inexorably, the ship begins to plunge from the sky. The wind whips around you, dragging at your hair. Your stomach turns as you see the dark expanse of the bright glade wood looming up towards you at incredible speed. This is how you die. Or perhaps not. You all take the following damage as you just slam into trees, breaking boughs, ripping open the canopy. You all take 5 points of damage.
Could I not turn into a bird? I have a wild shape.
I need you to make me a perception check first, then.
Okay.
I would advise not failing.
Perception on here is.
There's a hawk flying overhead.
I was going to be a falcon, so that'd be fun. What is perception? Why can't
It's
I find
wisdom.
it? I found persuasion.
It's
Underneath
Oh, there it
medicine.
is. There it is. Ha! 17 plus 4 is
Oh, you're golden.
21.
As everyone is taking damage from jostling and bouncing and that sort of thing, you're about to turn into a bird when you realize that you can see, well, It looks like the trees are not actually just being in the way. It looks like they're reaching towards the airship. And there are these little, where there would normally just be a hole from a woodpecker, perhaps, or a squirrel burrow. Those look like they're filled with spines, which almost look like teeth. You're fairly certain these trees are trying to eat whatever is happening. And as a matter of fact, those 3 sailors who were hanging from the side, you see just one of them being ripped off of the ship by a tree, and then it promptly devours him.
Oh,
Do you
God.
still want to turn into a bird?
I'll just take the damage.
It's 5 damage each. With an almighty crash, a shattering of wood and a ripping of cloth, the fogbreaker slams into the fetid earth. For a brief moment, everything seems silent and motionless, before anything not strapped down suddenly crashes to the floor. You are alive. But if this is Brightwood, then whomever named it so had an amazing sense of humor. It is dark, and the only light is the patch around the ship where it tore a hole through the canopy. The trees are withered, almost black, and hold no joy in their boughs. This is a forsaken place. There is a creaking and a groaning from the ship and from people strewn about the place. Occasionally there's a scream as someone is dragged into the darkness by a branch that has reached forward and pulled them in.
Skados! Venfin!
Here, alive!
Get away from the sides! Get away from the
What?
sides! The trees are eating things!
The trees are doing what now?
Get to the center! I'm just gonna grab him, start pushing him towards the center of the boat. Get to the center of the boat!
Careful, I'm delicate. I'm gonna... Do I have my weapons nearby?
Those would have all been in your room. You wouldn't have had them on board with you. The ship is... It's stopped. And now that the dust has started to settle, you kind of realize it doesn't look that bad as you thought it might have. Yes, the sails are ripped, but the hull seems pretty much intact. And Keen is busy moving around. He's trying to assemble his men and that sort of thing. But you think you could get down into the lower deck quite easily to get to your equipment, yeah.
Cool. I'll grab all of our gear from our room and I'll bring it up, sort of on my shoulders and sort of hand everyone their backpacks. It looks like we'll be needing these. Seems like we'll be walking the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would like to, if possible, I would like to. Can I make can I learn about the surroundings more than just those are eating trees? More like, where are we? How far are we in the forest? Do I get any reference points have I been seeing any reference points as we came down?
Yeah, well, as you were coming down, you had a vague idea of roughly where you were. So give me a survival check to see if you know how far it is to the next nearest city.
Well, I'm really bad at survival checks, so that is a 7.
On a 7, you would estimate that you have just entered the Brightwood, and the Brightwood is known to be about 700 miles wide. So you've got probably 700 miles through the Brightwood to the nearest city, or about 300 miles across the mountain range that you've just crossed before you get to the civilization on the other side of that mountain range. There might be some hamlets in the mountains themselves, but if they are, they probably mountain folk, which are weird.
You mentioned a temple.
That's
is
right.
there? Do I have just a slight understanding, pinpointing in what direction that could be?
From where you are, you estimate or you guess you can't be more than 3 miles away from it. Wherever it might be. Which direction it is in, you're not entirely sure, but you can't be more than 3 miles away. Simply because you saw the temple and then that beam hit almost straight away. So,
okay. So the second I get an understanding of where we are, how we are located, I would like to kind of spend the rest of the time until we assemble and make a decision, just to help the crewmen kind of carry the wounded, bring them together, try to form something like I don't know, rescue mission.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Everybody engages in that. Benfield?
I will go to the nearest tree and swing Strom at it.
You swing Strom at it. Make an attack roll.
Relinquish him, you boreal bastard!
Make an attack roll.
Oh, it's actually a thing. Oh,
It's an actual thing, yeah.
Oh, natural 20!
Ha ha! Oh, you're going to
Case
wish you'd
Strom.
saved that for something else. All right, yes,
I
you
do.
get your natural 20. So, deal your double damage with your hammer.
That is...
Trees are known to be particularly susceptible to being hit by hammers.
Yes, of course. That is actually pretty good. That is 24 damage.
Fantastic. What's your armor class?
16.
You slam into the side of this tree, and as your hammer hits it, it actually punctures through the bark, and this black sap just oozes out from the hole that you punched into it.
Yuck!
As you say that, a branch the size of your body comes down and just slaps you sideways. It hits an armor
Regret.
class of 18.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yeah, I thought that might hit. You got lots of
Any
hit
chance
points.
I can kind of like
right?
roll with the hit to kind of launch backwards and away from it?
Sadly, that mechanic doesn't exist in D&D, but I'm sure you can dramatically roll backwards. Well, yeah. You got lots of hit points, right?
Oh yeah, not to lessen the damage, just to run.
Gotcha. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits you, and you need to make a strength check, please.
Okay. Oh my.
Just saying that would have killed me.
I only have 18 health.
I'm okay. I've still got 6 hit points left. But I did only get an 11 on that.
Yeah. It sends you flying 10 feet backwards.
Okay, that's a rib. Yep.
Any of the ship, if there's any like small pieces of wood, I want to light a torch with my produce flame in my hands.
Nice.
And see if I can get that to keep the trees actually away. So I'm gonna go over Karash, stand over him, and whip it back and forth like Indiana Jones.
Nice. As you do that, you do notice the trees can't actually move, but their branches do recoil back in fear of this lit torch.
Perfect. I'm going to hand that down to Korash, and I'm going to start looking for things and lighting them and giving them to the crew and telling them to get down probably underneath so they don't get snatched up by the twigs and stuff.
Lovely.
I would also like to go over to Koresh, pat him on the shoulder while I help him up. And while I'm saying to him, I would say, Koresh, you know, we're kind of outnumbered here. Maybe you should not attack all the trees. I'm pumping a healing light into him. So roll 3d6, please. That is what healing you get.
That is 14 healing.
Ooh.
Nice.
Which is very nice. Korash looks over at Skardos and says, well, yes, that was remarkably unwise, but at least now we know a rescue mission is out of the question. These things, they... Trust me when I say they pack a punch. I think I broke my little tassel thing on my armor.
Oh, not the tassel thing. I like that.
Yeah.
I did too.
Keen sort of limps forward. It looks like he's done something to his leg, but it doesn't look particularly serious. Dear passengers, I have to report that we've crashed. As you probably noticed. I'm so glad that you all survived. Really, I am. Now, so, good news. Good news is the ship can fly again. Whatever that thing was that hit us, all it seemed to do was stop us from flying. It didn't actually do any physical damage, and the crashing part, well, that did do some damage, but we think we can repair it in probably the next 24 hours. So there's that good news.
When's the last time you've flown over this forest? Like, do you make daily trips?
Do you remember when you booked passage on our vessel? You're the first ones that we've actually taken on this new ship of ours. It was its maiden voyage, as a matter of fact. No one's ever tried to cross the Brightwood. That's why we were quite happy to have passengers on, so you could sort of spread the word that's sort of safe now.
Korash will walk up to the captain and sort of grab him by
Don't
the
hurt
vest.
me. I have children.
He looks at you and he says, "This was your maiden voyage.
Yes.
By all the gods in the heavens, the name Keen must be synonymous with absolute catastrophe for this to have occurred."
There is I mean, we're not dead yet.
Yet?
My question was more along the lines of, this isn't natural for this forest, is it? Like, it's called the Brightwood. Was it normally like this?
Well, he sort of looks at your hands. Holding...
I'll release him.
Right. Thank you. Well, it's always been called Brightwood Forest, and most accounts of people who have written accounts, that is to say, survived to be able to write accounts, they always wrote that it was a pleasant green forest inhabited by pleasant forest folk and was quite lovely to visit. Although that account was written about 1,000 years ago. And more recent accounts indicated that it was not particularly safe to cross. That's why most of the airships go around the south. But that adds an entire week to the journey. And, well, you seem to be in a bit of a rush. And, well, we were happy to test the waters, chart new territory, forge a new path.
If I may interrupt, you said the ship is intact, or mostly intact, and the beam just took us out of the air. So can we board and fly on then?
Well, you see, that's the challenge. We just need to do some more research into why the ship won't take off.
So you're now coming to the bad news part of your good news, bad news story.
Yes. The bad news is we don't know why she's not flying yet. She should have automatically lifted off of the ground under normal circumstances. So we need to investigate that. And so if we could ask that you just watch the surrounding territory for something must have fired that beam at us. If you could just stand watch for the next few hours, we'll assess and figure out what's going on.
Well, whatever that beam was is probably grounding us. You said this ship would magically go on its own and that beam stopped it. So how close am I towards the ground? If I was to hop off the ship to Earth.
About 15 feet.
So if I use Detect Magic, I would be able to detect something within that range, correct?
Sure.
So I want to Detect Magic and see if I can feel what that beam was and see if it's still pulling the ship into the ground.
You cast Detect Magic, and aside from transmutation magic, which is present on the ship's sails, and that is very weak, very, very weak transmutation magic. You would dismiss it as a cantrip in terms of its intensity, which that shouldn't be the case. Those sails literally keep the ship up in the air, as well as the giant dirigible. There's a lot of magic support going on in how this ship works, but you're not detecting a lot of that at all, and you're definitely not detecting any other magical influence. There doesn't seem to be any lingering effect from this blast. You do detect where the blast hit the ship, and that's towards the front of the ship, because there's a very vague outline of what appears to be some kind of necromantic magic, but it's very, very weak, as if it hit the ship and immediately dissipated. If you give me an Arcana check, I will tell you more, possibly.
I was just wondering if it would neutralize our magic, almost like a counterspell or something.
Yeah, I would like to do the Arcana check too. That is exactly what I'm interested in.
All
I
right.
got a 16 plus Arcana. It's a 17.
16.
16. I'm interested in it.
I'm interested. I do not understand it. I'm just like,
You suspect that that beam quite literally just negated whatever magic was on the ship. And once it had done that, they basically annihilated each other. And that's the cause. Now, you don't know how airships actually fly or generate that magic that needs to be sent out to the sails, because there is no ship's mage who miraculously casts this thing every day. Can I count on you to guard then?
Yes, you may. But I believe there's the matter of our fare.
Of course we'll waiver that. We'll refund everything. With a bonus for a good review.
Better. I'll then turn and start patrol. As soon as he mentions the word of a bonus.
Korosh, are we going to patrol on board of the ship, or should we start to establish a perimeter?
Look, these creatures, whatever they are strong. They've already dragged a few people off the ship. If I had to say anything, we should try and keep everyone as far away from the ground as possible. Do what we can to keep them away from the edges, too. Until we get word back from Captain Keen, I think it'd be best if we try to minimize the fatalities.
I think most of the people should stay under in the side of the ship and keep them off of it so they don't get picked off.
Agreed.
Makes sense. So yes, if you can just stay on the deck, that would be fantastic. Thank you. We're going
I
below
would
deck
take
too.
position
I would-
at the bow and would be just kind of watching.
All right.
I'm going to relay the information about that beam had negated the sail's magic.
Oh, I was afraid of that. All right. Well, at least now we know where to start. Thank you for that. Korosh, where are you going to stand?
I'm
Korosh,
going to
I see.
stand at the bow.
So far we've got Skados at the
then I'll
bow.
go. Okay, I'll go to the port side, about center of the ship on the
Yeah.
port side.
That side. All right.
You made me learn it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then Venfin.
I'm going to probably stand right where the stairs are at the top, so that way there's one person at the front, one person at the back, and just over to there
Okay.
is fine. So that way I'm somewhat in range of the other people moving right the ship at the back.
Gotcha. All right, I'm following the script here, folks. No sooner have you taken up your posts when the forest suddenly begins to rustle, as if a great wind were tearing through the leaves. The noise gets louder and louder. The dark wood begins to turn into a swirling mass. It becomes clear. A tidal wave of leaves, twigs, sticks, and branches is racing towards the side of the ship. Riding atop this wave are 3 figures, vaguely humanoid. They look like they have been carved from tree trunks, but their eyes glow with a red light. It looks like they intend to board the ship. What are you doing? The ship does have a ballista on either side of it, by the way. Korosh, you're standing next to one of them.
I grab hold of the ballista.
And throw it.
Standing there.
Throw it.
Ah! Take that.
Yeet!
All right, I need initiative from everybody, please, as we go into this.
Natural
Okay.
20!
Oh wow!
1.
No!
Ah!
I got a 10, so I mean,
Split the difference.
Yeah.
21 and 10. All right, and this thing is going.
sorry,
on
it's
that.
it's 12 with my bonus.
Oh, is it 12 with your bonus? All right.
Oh, is
that's
it?
cool.
Yeah, I forgot bonuses.
And this is just called that.
So
Oh,
23.
I'm reading my sheet wrong. It's 11. Yeah.
Okay. That's all right, and you're going first. All right, I've got these wrong around. So, 11 for Karosh, 23 for Venfin. Venfin, what are you doing? This massive, massive wall of like stuff is just heading towards you. I am going to try and draw something that vaguely represents this tidal wave of stuff just sailing towards you.
But it's all like leaves and twigs and stuff, right?
Yeah, but it's like this giant wall of leaves and twigs and stuff just rumbling forward.
What range is it? How far from the ship right now?
At the moment, it is about 30 feet away and closing distance with intention.
Perfect. I'm going to run down the stairs, up the other stairs, that being 20 feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to move then over one so my back's braced on those boxes.
The crates? Yeah.
Yeah, so where it's going to hit, I'm going to brace myself in there. And I'm going to...
there we go. Yeah.
So, no. So, where I was standing,
Yeah.
go towards Skados.
Yes.
So,
here.
yeah, up the stairs. Up. So, I ran down the stairs, up the stairs, and I'm
Yeah.
putting my back on the boxes. So,
There.
One down, one over.
There.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
Okay, cool. Yes.
And I'm going to launch Flaming Sphere to see if I can set this whole thing on fire.
Nice.
So, Flaming Sphere, I believe, is 60 feet. They have to make a dexterity check, and if they don't do well, they get 2d6 damage.
I like that. So you're going to just throw it out there and hope.
Yeah, it's like, just want to set the whole thing on fire. Why not send something that's coming towards us at Mach speed on fire, right?
Yeah, let's give it
That'll be
a
fine.
warning shot. All right, so you hurl your fireball thing at this.
It's 60 feet range. Like, I think 60 feet.
Well, it's got
and
a range of 60 feet, but its diameter is 10 feet, I believe.
Okay, let me double check. Flaming Sphere. Yep, they have to make dexterity checks.
All right, and what is the DC for that dexterity check?
Let me check my character sheet. Save. They have to roll over a 12, I think.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They rolled a
Rolled a
19. You realize that as you throw this flaming sphere at it, you can see these three figures. Here they are. You can see these three figures are riding on top of this wave. He said three figures. Where are the three figures? 1, 2, and 3. These three figures riding on top of the wave. They almost surfing on these leaves, and they all just bank hard to the left and hard to the right, and the whole thing just splits in half, and your flame sails outwards and misses.
Well, they do still take half damage.
All right. What is your half damage?
That is, it's 11 plus, is it plus something? Hang on. 2d6 damage. Nope, so just, that's 5 damage.
All right, they take 5 damage, but that is...
And the sphere doesn't keep sailing, so I can move the sphere bonus actions.
That's right. Provided that you concentrate on it.
Yep, so I'm going to concentrate on that.
All right, so you're going to leave it there, basically.
For now.
All right. Okay, and they are also on it, so that's to them as well. The one that you basically hit is not happy at all with these flames. Then we go to Karosh.
Can I pivot the ballista I'm on, or do I need to go to the other one?
It would be faster to run to the other one.
All right, I will go to the other one.
Yeah, it is loaded.
Yeah, well, getting on behind it, I immediately yell out to the, I would say probably the one on the far right from my angle.
Yeah.
I will turn to him and say, "Eat ballista, you backwater brachial blackguard!" and fire my ballista.
Fire your ballista. It's an intelligence check.
Hey?
It's an intelligence check.
All right, well, I got an 18.
Okay, fantastic. You basically swinging the ballista and you realize, hang on a moment, this thing takes a bit of time to swing, And then you don't know how long the bolt takes to sail across the air. So you're sort of trying to track and anticipate, like firing a shotgun. And then you pull the lever, and this bolt sails forward. Were you aiming for the leaf tidal wave? Or you said you were aiming for the person on the right. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm aiming for the dude. Yeah, like
all right.
The person.
The ballista sails out, slams into this creature. You may roll 3d10 damage. Because that's what a ballista bolt does.
This thing's not reloading though. Like that's just.
Well,
All right, that's okay. So that is 22 damage.
it punctures through this creature, rips it off of the wave of leaves, and embeds it into a tree on the far side, where it writhes for a few moments, and then just hangs limp.
So I also hit the tree behind it?
Yeah, you did.
Yes!
Immediately the black ooze starts to form over it. But what you also see is bits of the bark of the tree are starting to now rip apart that figure, whilst it's you've basically just given it a kebab. That's what's happening there. Unfortunately, Skardos is just not acting before these creatures do. This wave slams against the ship, this leaf wave, as it is, and it's going to use a power called its Leaf Nami, which is a wave of leaves, shocks, twigs, and things just spray out from it, and all creatures within 40 feet. So it's going to spray out. Let me just do a line here of green. It's going
Definitely
to
me.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. But it can do it like that, and I feel like it's going to hit both of you because it's a 40-foot long, 5-foot wide stream of detritus just sails out towards you guys. You can both make.
Are they on a higher elevation?
Oh, they are. You're quite right. Good point. Okay, it sails over your head. Absolutely, sails over your head. So you're all right. So give me a dexterity saving throw, if you please, there, Venfine.
Ooh, that's good. Plus my dex is 17.
17. That's fantastic. You take half damage from literally. It's like being buffeted by little sharp twigs that rip at your hair. You're literally going to look like you have walked through a bush backwards.
I'm used to that. I'm an elf.
Yes, that's 4 and 4 is 8. So you take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Then these Dryad things, one of them leaps off the deck and goes rushing over to you, Skardos, and tries to hit you. It raises this whittled, withered, branch-like arm, and it tries to hit you. It hits an armor class of 14.
Yeah, that hits.
And it slams into you. Its bark appears to be actually slightly worse than its bite. You take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
As it just slams into you. It is now your turn. What are you doing? The other one, by the way, everyone notices, appears to still be standing on this leaf creature thing.
The one next to me
Yes.
that attacked me, is that the one that was burning? Or that
No.
caught the... No, it's not.
The one
right?
that's standing on the leaf thing is the one that's burning.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing might gone up in flames because my sphere says it ignites flammable objects.
Yeah, so it's on fire.
Yeah.
Just like this guy is on fire.
I would like to, before I do my turn,
Yes.
I would like to Hellish Rebuke, because I took damage from that guy.
Yes.
I would like to Hellish Rebuke him. So I point my finger at the creature, and it is surrounded by green hellish flames. So it just erupts in green flames. And it must make a dexterity saving throw.
Its dexterity saving throw is 12.
That is, nope, that's a fail.
All right. How much damage does it take as your green fire burns it?
13.
13 points of damage. It shrieks, and the whole thing just bursts into flame. It drops to its knees in front of you, and a little twig reaches out in desperate plea before being consumed by your...
Stomp it. I will stomp it out. It's like, oh, no, don't touch me.
All right, it's burned to death as you do that. So that was your...
That was my reaction, though.
That was your reaction, yes. So what is your action?
So, since there's another one that's burning, standing on this leaf wave, I would like to. So I'm reaching down to my belt where I have a little silver, kind of silver chain with a lot of little artifacts on it, and one of them is a small, tiny silver bell.
Okay.
And I would like to pick that up, and while I point at the bark creature, I would just ring it a little bit, and as in Green Lantern, kind of giant green bell starts to manifest around his head and starts to ring, gong gong gong. So I'm told the dead him with my green bell. Which means that he has to do another wisdom saving throw, please.
A wisdom save. Okay. This wisdom save, unfortunately, is 19.
Yeah, he makes it, and nothing happens.
Oh, what a pity. What a pity. Back to the top of the round. And Venfine, what are you doing?
So as a bonus action,
yes,
I can move my seer. So I'm just going to extend my hand and like pull it close, and it's going to come right into him again and smack him. He has to make a other dex saving throw. And my save was calculated wrong, so it's a proficiency 8 and my wisdom, so it should be 14 to save.
He only got a dexterity. He got a 5.
Whoa! He bursts into flames
As
again.
you pull it back, he suddenly realizes what you're doing. He spins around, looks at the flaming sphere, shrieks.
So it takes 9 damage.
And is consumed in the flames. You have no idea how quickly it ignites something within it. And you just watch this incredible light. And as it dies, the wave of leaves just blows away like leaves on the wind, leaves on the wind. It just was suddenly just gone.
Nice.
There's loud cheering from the sailors, and then Captain Keen says, "Oh, well done, but can we keep the fire away from the wooden ship?"
I let it come up to like my palm of my hand, and I just grab it and extinguish it.
Oh. Well, I think that definitely deserves free meals for the entire trip when we finally get going. So, it would appear that whilst you were defending our ship so valiantly, it would appear that our cloud-balanced gyroscope has sprung a leak. Now, normally, this would be an easy fix, except that the only part that we don't have spare, because it's the most expensive part, well, we need to repair it. I don't suppose any of you happen to have about, I don't know, half a pound of lead on your person?
I look over at Karash. I'm like, "What's your armor made of?"
Looking.
I wink at him.
No lead at all?
We saw a temple on the way. There might be lead boxes if they're hiding something of like magical import. I don't know.
Look, I mean, I don't know about the temple. I mean, but it might have stained glass windows, and they use lead, don't they?
On the outside of it might have.
Well, considering that we're
All
not
right.
going to... Yes?
So, go to the temple, which is clearly defiled because of this horrible place. Break some windows, steal the glass, come back here.
So we
Sounds
should
easy
steal
enough.
the lead, I believe.
Steal the lead
Glass
frame.
is there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
glass is made of like melted sand, I think, isn't it? Like if lightning hits sand, it turns to glass.
I don't really know the finer details of glassware, but if you could come back with half a pound of lead, we'd be out of here in an hour, really.
I like the thought of this.
Me too.
Keen, if we do go to do this,
Yes.
can you keep your sailors safe in our absence?
Well, fire seems to be the right trick. I'm sure we can rig up the ballistas to fire swabs of cloth dunked in lamp oil. That should work, shouldn't it?
Do you have anywhere that I can set like a fire to so that they would have it? Like I can just produce flames forever as a cantrip.
Oh, we can use the brazier from the kitchen. That we'll put on deck, and then that'll keep burning and not burn the ship down.
Okay.
Right.
I would keep the rest of them underneath the ship.
So, where is this temple?
That way. I saw it as we were flying by.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
that direction.
I've spoken to our cartographer. He agrees with you. It's probably only about 1.5 miles to the west. I've also had Chef pack you some light lunches. He whipped together some sandwiches.
Oh, I love Chef. Thanks, Chef.
Thanks, Chef.
From below decks, you hear someone going, "It's not a problem. I mean, I'll just make sandwiches on the fly. Crashing ship, but I will make sandwiches. It's fine."
Oh my god, I love his accent so much.
With that, Keen says, "Right, well, good luck." Yes?
Yes, I feel like, though, because of the forest that is still trying to eat us, we should carry torches, or can you produce?
I
this
can produce
flaming
flame.
spear? Oh, perfect. Yeah.
It's called produce flame, and literally it's a cantrip, so I can do it forever.
Okay. So you're going to be our torchbearer.
All right. All right.
I would suggest we all have one, so if something tries to grab you, you can whip it around and shake it at it. But so I give both you sticks and I light the tops of them.
Nice. You have your temporary torches. The forest is fairly quiet. Apparently, the trees do not like flame and keep their distance. There's also no further sign of twisted dryads either. You continue for about 1/2 mile in this fashion, generally heading westward as best you can. It reeks of mildew and rotting wood, the deeper you get. A light wind occasionally rattles the skeletal fingers of the tree branches, but other than that, all is quiet. Up ahead of you, you see the ruined outline of a wall, perhaps marking the edge of the temple. There is a
Think we
section
found
that
it.
you can push through quite easily, and it reveals that there is a very large cemetery beyond. The cemetery is not exceptionally remarkable, but it is a jumble of old tombstones, rocks, and overgrown mounds. Suddenly there's movement. A twisted collection of roots, branches, and clotted earth rears up. A face emerges from the mass, a withered old face of a dryad. Unlike the others that you have fought before, her eyes shine with a green light.
I'll release my flames and walk up and I am so glad that you weren't twisted as well, my friend.
Korash holds his torch closer and mutters to himself, "Back, apparition."
I'll hold my hand
This is
out.
probably I know that when Finn is going forward, so I will be more in the ready to cast something stance, and see what's going to happen.
She grabs her head as if she seems to be waking from a dream, and she says, this is remarkable. We haven't got a lot of time. You must please get into the he has corrupted everything. Take this, she says, and she pulls a golden amulet out from within her knotted branches. It will lead you. If you concentrate, it will help to lead you to where he is.
Who's he?
As you ask her that question... Wow, okay. I have never managed to hold on this long. He arrived centuries ago. I believe he is the one who destroyed the temple. He has corrupted the forests. All of my children have been turned to his work. It is insufferable. I would defeat him myself, but the main doors, they are barred, and I cannot force them. I struggle to remain here. There is another way.
Before she loses herself again, I want to touch her and cast guidance so she keeps herself. So what it does is anytime she has to make a save for holding on, she can add a d4. So I'm just going to put my hands gently on her face and cast guidance.
Her eyes light for a moment. I'm going to add the d4 to the mix. There is a calmness I have not felt in quite some time.
You were saying something about a weeping angel?
Yes. There is a weeping angel not far from here. She will lead you into the catacombs underneath the temple. I believe there is an entrance into the actual temple itself from the catacombs. You could try to go through the main doors, but they crumbled, and that entire section is particularly dangerous. You don't have to take my word for it. I know I'm but a strange creature.
Can I see any statues that resemble a weeping angel when I look around?
Yeah, looking around, there are lots of different tombs and things. Give me a second here. Someone shouldn't be there. You can see there's various crypts, mostly overgrown. There's a hooded, cowled figure. There's an old ruined circular tower as well. Let me move further over. And then in the far corner, you can, as a matter of fact, see a rather hideous-looking gargoyle leering over a very large and impressive mausoleum. But in the corner, there is a weeping angel.
Don't blink.
Yeah.
She shakes her head. How long does your guidance last for?
So guidance lasts for concentration up to a minute, so it can be 10 turns.
All right.
I guess.
All right. All right.
I'm going to probably let her go to sleep or something, like just tell her to relax and try to hold on as best she can, and we will make our way.
Go to sleep.
Actually, Korash will say that. Looking at her, he will say, "Honorable keeper of this grove, you have fought hard and tried to maintain yourself in the light of true evil. We can't offer much to ease your pain until we can deal with this creature. But if you want, should we win or should we fail, we can end your suffering here if it would be easier."
Like death? No, I think she'll be fine. She's held on for eons or thousands of years.
Imagine suffering for eons while your children tore apart the very home you created.
We can fix this.
She doesn't appear to notice either of you, but walks past Skardos and just quietly sits down next to an old grave and rests her head on the stone itself.
I think we could probably release her from her agony if we can end whatever this is. If this will lead us to him, we might be able to do it ourselves.
I agree.
It is worth a shot. I was just being polite.
All right, so
by offering to kill her.
Yes. And pray that if ever I am under the sway of evil, that you will slay me.
Very well, I'll be sure to kill you. And then fix the problem 5 minutes later.
She doesn't seem to be doing anything.
All right, so okay. Are you guys all right with trying to leave the glass and see if we can figure out what's causing this?
Yes.
Yes,
Shadows?
yes. I would also like to go over to that weeping angel without blinking and looking around a little bit if I can see any hidden passage.
All right, you start walking towards the hidden angel. You get to the base of it. It's quite overgrown. There's roots everywhere. There's broken tombstones and things. As you move away from her, she suddenly leaps up and she looks at you, Karosh, and she goes, "Fire! Fire! Everything's on fire!" And she starts to raise her hand, and it looks as if she's trying to cast a spell of some kind. What are you doing? She's literally run up to you. It doesn't look like she's seeing you. It looks like she's looking at everything is on fire.
I will mutter to myself, "Great Aunt Petunia's wobbly knees. This is gonna hurt." And I'm going to try and interpose myself. Or at least if she's looking at me, I'm going to try and pull myself so that she's not going to do any kind of line damage to my allies behind me. I'm going to reposition.
So,
If need be, I will reposition her with a bait and switch maneuver.
Sorry, let me get you a view there. So you're going to try and...
Yeah, so
swap
I'm going to... So what I'll
positions?
do... Yeah.
All right. As you grab her, she says, "Unhand! I burn! Oh, the pain! Oh, it hurts! Oh, flame! Oh, consume my frame!" Is what she's crying out. What are you doing, Venfine?
I'm going to run up and try to cast guidance again because it's a cantrip and see if it's just an illusion that's tricking her mind.
As you rush up to her, she says, More fire! 'Tis the end!
Can I smell fire on the air?
Nope.
Because dryads have a tree they live in normally, right?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. That's what she's shouting.
Is the grave behind us open?
No, it's got mushrooms growing on it.
Damn it.
Skados, what are you doing while this is going on behind you?
I was still looking for the
Yes.
entrance.
It does look as if just behind it there is a darkened area that could very well signal stairs going down.
In that case, I would call to my allies and I would say, "Hey, look! I think I found the passage the way down. Maybe we should move on before she kind of loses her shit completely."
I agree.
She
Come,
suddenly
Venfine.
turns from looking at the two of you in terror, and she just stands like this.
Or she's just in the tree.
I think now would be good.
Alright.
I will in a means to comfort Venfine, who is clearly affected by the suffering of this poor dryad. I'll put my hand on her shoulder and say, "We must go."
I'll cast guidance one more time and say, "Be well, my friend," and move forward.
All right, you guys follow along. As you're moving away from her,
Damn
Karosh,
it.
you catch the glint of something shiny and red coming from this grave just to the north of you. It's something small and sparkly. Do you investigate?
I will investigate.
It appears that there is a small grave, and inset into the tombstone are 3 rather small rubies. But they are incredibly bright and so dark in their red tone that they are almost flawless. Something like this would make an ideal ornament on perhaps a warhammer, but your best guess, these are probably worth 250 gold pieces each. There is an inscription on the tombstone underneath
I will
the
read it.
red gemstones. It says, Octavia Greybrace, 1023 to 1354. 3
Does that name
red...
mean anything?
That's probably the date.
No, the name. Sorry, does the name?
Oh,
mean
Octavia Greybrace? No,
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay.
This is about 300 years ago, at least. The era now is 1612. So, yes, 1023 to 1354. It's then there's an inscription underneath. It says, 3 red drops of blood, all she needed yet never got. Why did they find her? Why didn't I save her? Sleep now till the blood comes.
I'll stand beside him and look at the tomb.
Yes.
1023 to 1324 is well over 300 years old.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like a human grave.
Humans don't live to be 300.
How do
I'm
you
an
know?
elf. I'm
We
an
might
elf. Many
die.
of them have died since I've been born.
Look, humans don't die. My Mima is still alive and well, and I will be fine. We're
How old
taking
is
this with us,
Mima?
though. It seems like a riddle thing. I'm gonna grab the tombstone and just rip it out of the ground. Yeah!
Give me a
This is coming
strength
with-
check as you try to rip this tombstone out of the ground.
All right. So that is a 22.
Right. Well, you rip this tombstone out of the ground. No problem at all. It's quite heavy. It weighs at least 50 pounds.
Yep, I'll just strap that to my back with like I'll just use like bits of like the sash and the stuff from my my backpack. I would just lash it to my back. Try to put
Alright.
as much support on my hips rather than my shoulders.
Please use it like a John Cena chair some point in this fight and just bash it over someone's head.
There's no guarantee, but here's my thoughts. Either A, it's some kind of trap, and as soon as I touch these gems, we're fighting vampires. Or B, right, later on, it's going to be, hey, there's some sort of like, thing involving 3 drops. And I will have forgotten everything on this tombstone. So,
I could do a
I'm bringing
rubbing.
it with me.
Why don't we just do a rubbing of it?
Look, I've already got the tombstone. It's on my back. Rubbing was a suggestion for 5 minutes ago. We push on.
What does it read again? What does it read again?
3
You can
red
read it on my
drops of
back.
blood, all she needed yet never got. Why did they find her? Why didn't I save her? Sleep now till the blood comes.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
As you start standing up with this heavy weight on your back, this hand bursts out of the grave from which you have just stolen its tombstone, and it starts to rip at the earth. What are the 3 of you doing?
Ah! I'm going
sorry.
to just drop it on top of her.
I'm going to drop the tombstone on top of her.
You're going to drop the tombstone on top of her? Oh
It's
my
more of
god.
it's more of a panic reflex. Like, I've just gone, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then dropped it. Because, I mean, I don't imagine I'd have time to... Would I have had time to lash it and everything?
Well, no, you're busy lashing it, and then this thing comes out. All right. You're
Oh,
gonna-
okay, yeah, that's fine. Then I won't drop
This
it.
hand reaches towards you, and this voice says, blah, and then you drop the tombstone on her. I'm going to say you need to just give me a dexterity check. Give me a dexterity check or a ranged attack if that's works for you.
Ranged attack would be better.
Yeah, all right.
That is a 12.
A 12. Okay. Well, you slam this thing down. I'm going to say that it is going to deal 3d6 damage as you drop this tombstone onto her.
10 damage.
You slam this thing down onto this corpse as it's trying to climb out, and the hand suddenly shakes twice and then drops to the ground, unmoving.
And
Hello?
whoever she was, she suddenly remembers that she had Roman ancestors who were killed by Obelix exactly the same way.
Exactly.
I just at Crash.
Look. You can't tell me you knew that was going to happen, okay? This place hasn't been visited for that long, and I'm taking this still. And I'm going to pick it back up and lash again. What's she going to do? Come back again?
You pick it. Everybody pick it up.
As you pick it up, you see underneath this broken, shattered skull with these
God.
two very pointed teeth. Old parchment-like skin that hasn't fed upon the bone or the flesh or blood of a living creature in centuries. A very tattered dress. And what remains of this coffin, which you sort of bashed in with your thunderous attack, there does appear to be a very small ivory box that is in the coffin with her, apart from the dirt and the rest of the muck that is around her.
I'll take that.
All right, do you open it?
Is there anything on the box?
It's got some ornate carvings of certain figures doing things which you're not entirely sure are legal in this kingdom. But aside from that...
Like feasting on the flesh of others, or...?
Flesh is involved, and let's keep it PG-13.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a sexy box. Got it.
There we go.
Can I detect magic on the box?
Sure. You cast Detect Magic on the box, and there isn't any.
I'll walk over to Skados. Sure, I take the big heavy tombstone with gemstones in it, and I'm a monster. She runs off with her box.
Ivory box.
I was watching all of that in awe. I was like, okay, that happened. Are you ready to...
I stick the box in my bag and like, all right, let's go save the Dryads.
All right. You continue on down towards the stairs that Skados has found. Now, you can see...
Hey, Skados, do you think this works like armor?
Like a shield?
Probably.
Why am I thinking of Braum from League of Legends, who just uses a door?
Have you tied it to your back with the gems outside or inside?
Probably outside. I don't want it digging into my spine.
Perfect. In that case, I will follow very close to you and peel out the gemstones.
Aw.
You can give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, yes, I will.
I'm laughing the entire time as this is happening.
Oh, no, I will.
I dropped them!
That is terrible.
Oh, no!
It's probably when you dropped the stone on her, loosened them, you know?
I had a 4.
Aw.
Yeah, you. Unfortunately for you, Karosh very easily felt your picking and scraping at the tombstones. Do you let him take the gemstones?
Well, I'll probably say we can get them later. I mean, we might need them in there for something. That's why I'm bringing the whole thing. I mean, if we just needed to break the stone and steal the thing, we could have done that.
Sure. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been doing anything.
Look, see, there are numbers that don't make sense on it. It's some sort of puzzle, and I'm either going to solve the puzzle or hit something that made me try and do a puzzle with this big heavy rock.
She wasn't human, she was a vampire. She had teeth and fangs on her. That's why she lived so long. She was immortal.
I hope you've put her on fire before we left.
I'll be right
Shit, I
back.
left outside. 1 sec.
Run back, go
I go
inside.
I go back.
The hand reaches
Quickly.
up as you get there, and then the flame burns.
I'll drop the tombstone on her again, and this time I'll just pry out the stones.
All right, you get the stones
Oh,
out, not a problem.
I'll
And
set her on fire.
I'll give one to everyone.
You each get a gemstone, a red ruby, a blood red ruby with 250 gold pieces each.
Ooh.
The flames burn and the hand is no longer moving, or the rest of it for that matter.
I'm just like, shh, 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 sleep now.
You head towards the entrance of the Weeping Angel. You can see the massive carcass of the cathedral looming up above you. Great buttresses of stone look like a giant ribcage. The main doors mimic the mouth of a grinning skull. The rubble of collapsed towers and arches blocks it completely. A quick glance reveals any disturbance to the debris will bring down the whole facade of this once beautiful temple. However, deep within the remains of this once holy site, you can see 6 magnificent stained glass windows, untouched by the destruction of time. To get to them does not seem to be an easy task. However, the steps that Skados found lead down into a larger chamber. On either side, niches hold the bones of the dead, some wrapped in linen, others bare and exposed. Between each niche stands a statue of saints or paladins, holding swords, axes, or chains of redemption, covered in spikes. The floor was once a beautiful mosaic of square tiles, and at the far end is another set of stairs leading upwards. This is the chamber that you find yourselves in. It does seem to extend for quite some distance.
Can I take the necklace that she told me to concentrate on and focus on it?
Absolutely. As you focus on it, it rises into the air and gently spins a moment and then points directly down the corridor.
I pick it back up. The mosaics on the floor, what do they look like?
It's just a tiled pattern, but...
What type? The type of pattern?
Squares. Intricate squares, interlocking squares, small circles carved. But yes, that's about it. The floor itself is now slightly overgrown. You can give me an investigate check.
I would like to do that because I saw those things with spikes and I don't trust it. Investigate. Boo, boo, boo. Sorry, I'm flipping back between my pages.
That's all right.
That is a 12.
A 12.
Didn't do so good.
Looks like it's an overgrown old floor. If there is a trap here, you certainly can't find it.
Hey, Bardas. Or Korash. Go that way.
Korash.
Okay.
Skados.
I will. I'll lead the way.
I will. Can I put my hand on Korash and say, well, I mean, I don't know how you do this in your games. Can I do an investigations check too?
You can.
Or is that
no?
Okay.
You weren't assisting.
Because I feel like this
Benfield.
very much feels like Indiana Jones.
I'm gonna pat his shoulder and cast guidance. I'm like, I believe in you.
Korash, I will hold you back just while you're stepping into the chamber, and I would just also take a look around and investigate. Probably focusing on the statues, though.
All right, sure. What's your investigate check?
Man, I rolled shit today. My investigate check is an 8.
You agree with Venfine. There's nothing.
I will just put my hand off your chest, Korash, and say, "Okay, go on." And I was.
And you have guidance, so if you can roll a d4 and add it to whatever you roll, or you have to whatever roll you have to make.
Korash sort of looks back. For a moment, he tries to sort of like lift up his visor to kind of look into their eyes, and realizes that after the crash, getting smacked by the tree and stuff, his helmet's kind of stuck on. He has a moment of like slight panic as he tries to make it look really cool. Like he walks up and he's like, then he stops and he goes, "Fine, but if I get eaten by something, I'm going to solely hold you responsible."
Does this mean you were vomiting with your helmet on?
No. He put it back on after the bucket before the crash. Yeah.
But you said the crash dented it.
Yeah. Basically, the crash, the tree, everything. So now his helmet's permanently on. So I'm going to step forward, but as I'm going to do, I'm going to have Strom clenched in both hands. I've got the torch kind of thrown. I'm going to throw it like kind of in front of me and just sort of kick it along the ground as I sort of move. You know, just sort of, it's gonna light my next destination as I move forward.
Got you. You start stepping forward, and you notice on the floor some Elvish writing. Do you speak Elvish?
I do not.
It's
but
squiggly.
I do know someone who
It's
does.
squiggly writing. You've seen it on Elvish buildings before. This is when you are about.
Where to find an elf? Oh well, no.
I'm a high elf.
I know. Velphine, there's words here. Elven words.
All right. Oh.
You have to come close. Real close.
I will wander forward and
All right.
produce flame and look at it.
All right. Skados, where are you standing?
I will still stay back here.
All right.
I'll sort of playfully tap Velphine on the back, like when you're kind of like on a bridge and you like tap the back of your friend, like almost like pretending like you're gonna
Like,
like
you push
him
it and you're like, whoa!
Yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do with Velphine, just like, ooh.
Venfine. And I look at you with my produce flame hand and like, I will burn you. And then wink playingly at him, because I know what he's doing.
You look down at the words. You'll have to brush some lettering, some of the detritus and old leaves away to see the lettering underneath. As you do so, you read the sentence, "Place of the dead. Rest ye who enter here, for oblivion awaits."
Yeah, this place is gonna kill us.
You also, as you're brushing leaves and things aside, notice that the circles in the mosaic, some of them seem to have slight raised nodules on them. Some of them seem to be depressed, and the ones that are depressed look as if they're the ones that Karosh has walked over.
I'm like, do not move. Do not move.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you then turn around going, why shouldn't I move as you walk back?
You know, just I'll
it's almost like I'm like, don't move.
Is there a spider on me? If there's a spider on me, I'm out.
No. Skados, I need your eyes as well. And I'll point out the raised circles and then which ones he stepped on have depressed. I need your eyes to figure out the pattern before we set something off in here and I'll die.
Okay. I will do my best to look for that, figure that out. What can I do?
All right. So you said there's also squares. Has he stepped on any squares on his path and nothing is depressed in them?
It certainly seems that way, but then you realize that the squares are about maybe a hand size in diameter with these circles. And then you also realize as you look further down the passageway, the circles seem to be in random locations, so there isn't even a fixed routine to their placement.
Okay. Do those circles line up with those spiked sides?
It doesn't look like it. It just looks like there's circles everywhere. For every 1 square foot, there's probably 6 circles randomly dotted around in that square space.
All right. I'm going to try to make my way forward, I guess. I'm going to cast guidance on myself. Boo, I'll lose concentration on him.
No. Quick question.
Yes.
Did the sides look like if they were to move off the mechanism, would they swing downwards or would they swing across?
The sides? You mean the walls?
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
sorry,
the statues.
Yeah.
With the chains and the swords and things.
Yep.
I need you to give me an insight check.
I'm actually good at that. That's an 18.
Hey!
You look from the statues on the left, you look to the statues on the right, you look back to the statues on the left. If the statues were brought together from left and right, if they came together, then the blades and things line up so it looks like they would actually interlock, forming like a very, very, very efficient meat grinder or a wood chipper. There are also all of the niches in which the bones are buried. Those, however, would, you don't think, be affected. But they're obviously on the sides.
Ah. All right, I think I figured it out. We need to leap across these areas between where the bones are, so that we aren't between the two statues, which look like they'll come crashing into each other and turn us into a fine paste.
Is there a way that we could set it off and go around them? Like if I put a stick and stab the area, they would come in, and you guys could walk around them.
You mean every nodule?
Like trigger the trap and then move around the trap when they come together, because they'll meet in the middle, and that means that at the time the sides would be safe to walk past.
Look, it's a 7-foot jump. It's not that hard.
I'm only
Come
like
on, we
5
got
foot.
The other trick is, as Skados said, is that there are nodules everywhere. Pushing one with a stick, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it would be set off. After all, it does look as Karosh has already stepped on several and nothing seems to have happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
we could just run for it, right? I mean, we're fast. Why don't we? No,
Yeah, well, some of us are.
you could throw us.
Some of us are in full plate.
I'm not going to be tossed.
And carrying a tomb. Oh, you're not carrying the tombstone anymore. That's right.
I'm not carrying a tombstone. I
Yeah, we buried the lady again.
All right.
Again.
But,
Again.
Okay, but I am going to make an attempt to jump from the aligned area with bones to the next section.
I mean,
So what we're going to move into as you are trying to make your way across. Is everyone trying to make their way across, or is everyone just waiting for...
yeah, although I would probably, because you said there is a hand wide, I would try to tiptoe between those. I would just try to avoid them.
All right. Venfin, are you staying at the back?
I'm going to stay at the back and watch what happens.
Your faith in my companion's faith in me gives me strength.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Definitely going to touch the tiefling and give him guidance.
All right. Are you
I'm so glad it's a cantrip.
are you following in the wake of Karosh, Skados, or are you hedging your bets and going towards the side?
I think Korosh said he wanted to leap forward.
Yes.
No, I would like to do the opposite side. I would like to try, there. I would try to dance across the floor here.
So what this means is that the two of you, as Venfin is watching from the sidelines, are going to go into a skill challenge as you try and make your way across. Now, the way that the skill challenge works is that you need to succeed. You need to succeed 3 times before you fail twice. It's going to be fairly easy, though, because the two of you are both doing this. So it's literally the two of you who will be contributing skills, whilst Venfin watches as you both are hopping across this corridor.
Are we doing, sorry, just for clarification, is doing everyone his own skill challenge, or are we doing it together?
You are doing it together. So from either one of you, I need a perception check.
Pass.
Okay, I will. I was good at that. Never in this game. But...
Oh no.
You do have my guidance.
13.
So. You have my guidance, so roll a d4.
Right. I will add that. It's a 14.
14 is just a success.
Oh.
As you are hopping forward or sneaking forward, you're starting to see what you think is a pattern. Every 8th row seems to repeat the previous 8 rows, which does start to make it a little easier. That means, Karosh, you need to give me a survival check as you leap like a mountain goat.
23.
And land with the grace of one of those elvish dancers who like to wear tights and funny, crizzy little skirts that stick out the sides.
This is my favorite.
Lanfine, it's easy. You should try too.
Are
You
you?
get, do you see the pattern?
Yeah, I start to
Leap
see one.
loudly.
I'm going to follow Skados,
All right.
and I'm going to follow his patterns
All right.
that he tells me about.
It's incredibly lucky because you need to give me a wisdom check to see whether you think that what Skados is doing is indeed true or not.
I have a +4 to my wisdom, and I rolled an 18.
Nice.
22.
That is your third success. That's all that you needed. So you managed to make your way across the length of this passageway until you get to the last niche.
Oh, God.
And
Oh no.
as you are all sort of hopping, skipping, sliding your way across this rather terrifying distance, it is then, I'm going to roll randomly, number 1, Skados, as you're hopping across, you notice that next to one of the bone piles in the niche, it looks as if there is a rather impressive ivory hammer, a rather large double-handed hammer, interred with these bones. Do you tell anyone about it?
Sure, I will be like, hey, Korosh, I think there's...
Get busy.
like-
What?
No. You're doing great. You're doing great. Look over there. I can see the hammer there. It's a real beauty. I feel like that could be something for you. Do you want me to take it with us?
Look, it looks like it's made of ivory. Mine's made of metal. I mean,
Just the shaft and handle are made of ivory. The
okay.
head of the hammer appears to be made out of platinum. Or,
Let's get this.
to be
Why
clear.
would I do that? Do I go up to you and say, "Here's a magic wand made of like balsa wood"? No. Okay. Ooh, that looks quite nice,
I
actually.
think it's a mimic. Please
Well,
touch
that mimic's gonna get a headache if
touch
it is.
it. Please touch
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Go get it.
Oh, no.
You know what I'll do? Hold on, wait. Let me paint a scene here. Taking Strom, I look at my hammer and I say, "Don't be jealous, okay? She means nothing to me,
I curse
not
you.
yet anyway." And I'll put Strom on my back.
I'll be like, dude, it's slow-mo.
and then what I'll do is I'll get my hands and I'll go. "Poof. Remember that my helmet hasn't come off, and you hear this. Ding! Damn it! Oh. Then reach down and grab hold of the shaft and
You wrench it free, bones clatter to the floor, a skull
No.
rolls across the floor. You hold aloft this hammer. It's incredibly well balanced. It is a two-handed hammer, and you're not sure, but as you hold it aloft, from somewhere in this dark passageway, it seems to catch on the corner of the hammer, and there's this brilliant white flash of light reflected, as if it's the perfectly polished weapon.
beautiful.
The skull rolls past your feet and into the middle of the passageway and comes
Can I?
to a stop.
I brace for traps.
Do you move?
I'm like not breathing because I'm like, oh, anything could make this thing top. Is it like looks like it's settled, or does it look like it could still shift?
It does look like it's stopped, but you can see that it has depressed a whole series of these nodules.
Okay.
How close am I to the door?
You so to the door. Sorry, the map was off. So to the door, you are 5 feet away, Venfine.
I'm gonna jump to the door and
You
spider
leap-
on the wall.
You leap to the door. Skados, you are about 7 feet away, and that will require you to make an acrobatics check.
I'm gonna hold my hand over
oh,
to
an
you, like,
athletics check.
Just before he does, I want to look at the ceiling just above the staircase because I can see those crushed rocks along there, and it's got me thinking that maybe there's a ceiling trap.
Yeah, as you look at it, it does look like the ceiling does have raked lines across the top of it. But it does extend down the entire length of the corridor.
Okay. I will say, take care. And I point upwards to gesture at that which I've noticed.
Skados has a failure to launch, leaps, trips, and waddles, rolls, and desperately tries to move around. As you're walking towards the stairs trying to jump, those little circles are being depressed. There's a sudden rumbling. Suddenly the doors at the far end of the catacombs slam shut. Venfine, you are locked off from these other two.
No!
I will just put in a temporary wall there as you are locked off. The far end of the passageway seals off as well, locking the two of you in here alone. The ones leading back into the cemetery do the same, but foliage and rubble block them from completely closing. At the same time, the walls on either side begin to grind forward. In horror, you realize the statues are designed to pierce, slash, or mangle everything inside of the catacomb, and if they don't reach you, the walls will most certainly crush you.
Oh, no.
What's the door made of?
It looks like stone.
Oh, it's going to take too long to... And how long... how fast are the walls moving?
The walls... Oops. Can I draw a straight line, if you please? The walls are already at this point. You've got about 3 rounds to act.
Oh, no.
How many statues are there?
The statues are in the north here. And in the south down here. So 2 at your immediate... Your biggest concern is being squashed by the walls.
I grab Skados by the neck, and as I do, I say, the heads, go for the heads! And I'm going to smash one of the heads of the statue.
You're going to run back to the statue? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll follow along.
You're following
and I point at the other statue for Skados to try and...
Okay, I will not follow along. I will go for the other statue.
All right. The two of you are trying to smash this thing. As you swing the warhammer, Korash, you notice that it slams against the statue. It does tremendous damage. There's mortar and dust in all different directions. There's a loud, crumbling, rumbling sound as you strike with this hammer. And you completely decimate half of the statue. But again, it's destroyed. But the walls are still going to come and get you.
Okay, so I'm going to move the rubble and I'm going to stand on the half statue and then get ready to give Skados the biggest, warmest hug as the two halves interlock.
Skados, how are you trying to destroy your statue?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Yeah, the best I can do is, I'm not sure, can I toll the dead a statue?
Sure.
Because it would have to make a wisdom save.
It fails because it's got no wisdom.
It fails.
Yeah.
Well, in that case... That's nice. That's a 15. So 15 damage.
There is this dull ringing sound. The statue rattles. It's ancient and it crumbles as the walls are now even closer.
So I would do the same as Korash does, and yes. I will climb onto the socket of the statue.
Oops.
And I will wait for Korash to come closer. And I'm like...
I'm just imagining, like... Oh, I just died in your arms tonight. Just,
As
a
those
big
walls
hug.
get closer and closer, from outside, Venfine, you just hear this grinding, smashing sound. You don't hear screams or anything. It's just this horrific rumbling noise.
I'm looking for any type of latch or something in the walls or like a button that would stop this. I'm like looking for a button.
You don't find one, unfortunately.
Then I start taking my sword and just start like bashing at the door. Like,
Right. Suddenly there is an almighty thump, and all the rumbling stops.
I just freeze on the other side of this door and just slide down and like just freeze.
There is then a grating sound, and it sounds as if the walls are being pulled apart. Are you actually singing?
No.
I just died.
So inside the walls, the two of you got very close to one another as you were trying to be statues, but did not get crushed.
Hey, Skados, quick. And I lie down and pretend to be dead.
I'm like crying.
I was, breathing against his helmet and drawing faces onto it.
Oh. So eventually the walls pull back and the doors slide open, revealing two very dead people.
Oh my god, please make a performance check. Can they make a performance check?
Well, you can give me a medicine check before the performance check, yeah.
I just like fall out the door and I start like running and crawling over to them and it's just tears are running in my face. Like, oh my god!
As soon as that happens, I'm gonna go.
Oh no! I rolled a 7 and I'm like trying to cast healing words. I'm like, oh my god! Oh my god! And I start like trying to cast healing word on them both. I got like
I'm still
hands on them.
I am legitimately injured, so if you're casting healing word,
I'm casting healing word and crying.
And I'll just suddenly sit up and go.
Ah! And I punch you in the face.
Hey, my helmet came loose, but then it hits the back of the like the stone floor, and it dents back on. It's like ah.
You heal 3.
Yay.
And my hand's also on Skados, and Skados heals. Oh, you heal 6.
Nice.
Oh.
I rolled a 1 and a 4 on different dice.
I see how it is. It's fine. It's fine. Well,
All
that
is
was
quiet.
entertaining.
I'm like crying, and I grab both of you and like hug you. Like,
We're fine. We're fine.
I'm so sorry. And start crying.
I'll pat her back. I mean, I wanted to, play a prank on her, but I didn't want to make her cry. So
Oh yeah, I was like crying the whole time.
We're
Oh, my
fine, we're
friends
fine.
are dead. Oh, there's this beautiful comic that literally is like their friends dying as they're trying to get to a treasure, and that one person makes it to the treasure. They open up, it says the real treasure is friendship, and like, I feel like that's it.
You are on those stairs, and you realize they lead up to a small chamber. Do you follow up the stairs?
Sure.
Yeah.
In the middle of this chamber is a skeleton dressed in the robes of a priest who once served in this temple, perhaps. It sits forlornly on the edge of an old crypt. As you walk into what must be the sepulchre, the skeleton looks up and says in a dry voice like ancient parchment, "I beg of thee, noble souls, slay me, end my suffering." He looks around as if seeking someone you cannot see. But then he holds up a scroll. Written on it in neat illuminated text are the words, Slay me, and you shall all die. Let me slay one of you, and you can escape. Please help.
I hold up my necklace. Does it glow?
It doesn't glow, but it lifts up into the air again and points past this figure towards a large stone door.
Look, I'm getting mixed messages here, but if this guy wants to die, he seems to be the one doing all this, maybe? I'm gonna hit him with my hammer.
Question. He says, let me slay you and you guys can pass. What if he just kills himself? Then we could pass and he would get the kill and we wouldn't kill him, so then we wouldn't die.
The writing on the scroll says, let me slay one of you and you can escape.
I don't think that we will, at least I don't want to be slain here. Good sir, can you explain yourself a little bit? This is, as Korosh said, these are very mixed messages. It feels like it's die or die is a very kind of bad treat-off that you're offering here.
I am the Guardian. To advance, you must destroy me.
Ah! Why didn't you say so?
He points at the scroll, and he points at the section which says, slay me and you shall all die.
Oh, you're not allowed to talk about that, are you? Like,
again, the figure looks around.
Oh, shh, I know, I understand. Okay. Who's watching you? Can you point us, tell us?
He points towards a large door at the opposite end, which has this strange bronze emblazon upon it, which looks like a planet with clouds around it.
Planet with clouds around it.
Planet with fog around it.
Could be.
Well, I'm going to try and open the door.
You will
I feel like that's the
die.
only... Okay, so if I open the door without killing you, I will die. If I kill you, then we'll all die.
Or he kills one of us, then the others shall pass. But
Okay, is that just a threat? Are you
I
threatening
want to
us?
make a perception check to see what he's looking for.
It is
There is
difficult
too much
because
talking and
he
not
has
enough
eye
bone
sockets,
breaking.
but sure. You can make a perception check. Sorry, Michael, what did you say?
I'm saying there's a lot of talking and not enough bone breaking going on.
Here's my...
Perception.
Yeah, there it is, wisdom. That is a 22.
He is looking at that door with the bronze emblazoned upon it.
I'm going to look over to the door. Does anything move?
It doesn't appear to.
I feel like whatever is making him stand guard might be behind that door. It's like he's guarding the door, and we should kind of. But
I'm gonna throw this out there. Why don't we set fire to the scroll?
I could do that.
Well, we could do that, but to me, the situation looks like you would burn the help sheet that someone's holding against the window. You know what I mean? You pass by a window and there's a person saying, "Oh, hi, I'm fine," and then he's holding up this help sheet, and so you would just burn the help sheet.
Are you keeping something in?
What little remains of his lips, because there is still some flesh, he points at the stairs that you've just come down.
I go to the stairs.
We have to go back the way. Oh, sorry.
Takes a few steps towards you as you are on the stairs, away from the door with the bronze emblazoned.
Oh, okay. So out of the sight, so we can talk a little. Okay, I will follow along. I feel like he's trying to bring us somewhere where he can talk to us.
Are you going to back up?
Yeah, we'll back up.
All right. You get down the stairs, and he gets to the very edge of the stairs, and then he lies down on the floor, creaking and groaning, and then he sort of walks on his hands down the stairs as far as he can, whilst keeping his feet on the top stair. And so from this weird position of undead planking, he looks up at you and he says, I am Thebines the Elder. I was the high priest of this grand temple many centuries ago. That is when Rots arrived, an insidious priest with a high ambition. He usurped the power of this temple for his own needs, and for my defiance, for I did not wish him to be our leader, he has tasked me with protecting the entrance to his inner sanctum ever since. However, it is a trap set for both yourselves and myself. I am forsworn to forever protect the door. However, if you slay me, he has incantations which will bring about a terrible destruction. I know not the full extent, but I know it is powerful, thus killing anything that has slain me. On the other hand, if anything attempts to cross the door, I am bound by his magical energies to slay them. There is, however, a small catch. I only need to slay one soul, and the rest might pass. So, sacrifice one of yourselves, and the others might pass.
What if we don't touch the door?
Can I? Sorry, I would like to. The last time we're back in the passage, right?
Yes.
The one with the closing door
Yes.
thingy. The last time we were in here, when we triggered the trap,
Yes.
how quickly was the trap? Was it sprung?
It took 3 rounds.
Are you thinking about
No, it
dragging
took
it?
3
Oh,
rounds
it
until
took
it was
3 rounds to
completely
close.
closed. But the
Yes.
doors went down earlier, right? The
That's
doors
correct.
were basically we had all one reaction to do something.
Exactly.
Okay, in that case, I will just pull the bean in there. I would just, I would come down to him, because we don't have to slay him, and he doesn't have to slay us. The passage is going to slay him. I will pull him down and throw him into the passage and say, quick, 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 quick.
Oh, and the door goes down right away too. So I pulled him back into the door.
All right. I think everyone gets the plan.
Yep.
So I need you to give me a strength check versus poor old Thebine. Because he...
Can
Oh,
I
boy.
assist?
Yes, you can. The moment you see what he's trying to do, you can pull Thebine down.
Okay, so I have advantage on the roll, right?
Yes, you do.
Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Strength is 14.
14. Michael, what's your strength check?
Oh, sorry.
were helping?
Mine is 19.
All right. Together, you literally hurl him down the stairs and into that chamber. He rolls and comes up to his standing and says, "Wait!" And the door slams shut.
I would like to, at least as the door slams shut, I would like to point at one of the broken statues and try to, while the door comes down, try to stand in there!
Stand in. Hopefully,
We'll figure it out. Maybe.
he heard that. Hopefully, he heard that.
All right. Now, check for magic on the door. Quick.
As
Not
you
the-
go
not this door, the other.
back up the stairs, there is a figure standing in the open door. Or standing is the wrong term. It's floating a few inches above the main door. Definitely someone who has gone completely and utterly evil crazy. Dressed in black robes with this golden spiked crown on this skull. This figure hovers a few feet above the ground and says, "Too late, fools."
He's over there.
He disappears into the doorway, and as he does, the doors go.
No, we can't let him get away!
You will not escape! As I grab the ivory hammer and swing it with all my might at the door.
All right, you're going to swing it with all your might at the door. My goodness. Okay, you get inspiration for both of you managing to work your lines of dialogue into the actual adventure. Okay, so the door slams shut, this massive, massive, massive door. And it is quite solid, but you're going to make your attack. You're going to make your attack. Make your attack against this door.
All right. Oh, that's what I want. That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Fantastic. You can roll your damage. It is a two-handed warhammer.
So that is a D10.
I believe so.
Yeah. Ah, max damage. That is 13.
13. Then you may roll 2d8 on top of that, for this hammer has a particular vengeance against masonry and constructs.
Against doors.
That is an additional 12 damage.
So your total was 22.
25.
25. All right.
Yeah.
You slam into this thing, and it rocks, and there's some sign of it breaking, but it holds fast.
Is it wood?
It's wood, but it appears to be imbued with certain magical properties, preventing it from collapsing completely.
If I've got the ability to, I will action surge and sort of just put my shoulder and my weight into it and continue kind of... Like, you know when you hit something and you sort of continue just pushing to try and...
All right. You can action surge.
All the way through.
Go for it.
That is a 16.
Definitely still a hit. Do your damage.
Okay, so that is 16. That's another 25.
The door explodes inwards under the pressure of your attack. You charge forward, and in front of you is this large, almost cathedral-like space, yet it must have been a chapel of some kind. There are stained glass windows that you can see, but here is what you can see in front of you. This large open space, columns reaching up to a vaulted ceiling, and green flames burning in braziers on either side of a set of stairs, atop of which is this floating form of this undead crowned creature who looks at you all and says, "Bring it on." As he says that, I will read you the description. Count Rotz hovers at the top of the flight of stairs 100 feet away. "Cockroaches, fools, the lot of you. Well, let's see how you deal with this." He raises his skeletal hands and fog begins pouring out of them as he incants an ancient spell. Daruachva. The large chamber begins to fill rapidly with white fog. The fog gets denser and denser and denser until suddenly it becomes solid. It appears to be a maze with twisting passages and complex routes. The fog literally just swamps out over the entire area before you have an opportunity to even breathe.
Oh no, we're surrounded by dungeon fog.
Oh, you get inspiration for saying that, because I didn't even think of that one. So yes, there is
Greatest
this
thing that could ever happen.
fog all over the place. What are you guys doing?
You said it's forming a labyrinth.
It definitely feels like a labyrinth, yes. You can see passageways. It's not complete. It's not a solid wall.
It's magic. So I would like to do an Arcana check to probably I can read the pattern or something like that, or
Sure.
learn something from it.
And I'm just gonna sort of poke it with the end of my stick, my warhammer, just to kind of see if it's got.
For some reason, that's the best roll I had. It looks like DungeonFog mazes are my thing.
Apparently.
I have a 23.
Lovely. Well, what you realize is that this fog is not as stable as perhaps this Rotz fellow would like you to believe. The reason is the whole thing is shifting and moving, and you think it's shifting and moving under his control. So he has to concentrate on where you are to keep the fog solid, or at least to keep things obscure for you. That is what you think, and it must be quite taxing for him, because this is an incredibly complex spell.
So I will relay that to the others, and I will say I believe that he's concentrating to create this maze for us, which means that we should probably make it more complicated for him, because if he's focusing on just us three in that maze, that might be easier for him than concentrating on each one of us trying to find our way through the maze. So how about splitting the party?
I have no issue with this.
All right, with this as well.
But if he needs to concentrate, then why don't we yell out the opposite direction to the way we're traveling while we're traveling in 3 separate...
Yes, very nice. So every one of us is going into a different direction, but is calling the opposite of where he's actually going.
I'm so glad you guys make this
my
easy.
mother driving.
I love that, like, any other time you play, like, a natural game, it's like, we're so cool, and we're like, we're going left! And we're running right.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of crazy
Anarchy!
I'm going
Anarchy!
At this point, all we really are, I mean, as cool as the DungeonFog is we're just at a McDonald's playground. Like, that's
pretty
just
much what's going on.
I'm going in the ball pit!
All right, so you step into this weird white space, and you start splitting up and going in different directions, following these weird and wonderful lines of passageways. As you journey down a passageway, Skydos, we'll start with you. You come to a dead end, so then you turn around and go back the other way, only the other way is also a dead end, but there is a gap to your left.
Yeah, I will try to step into the left, the gap.
Yes.
But I will say, there are no dead ends, I can continue onward. And
this is psychological warfare. I like it. I like it. So I would like you to please give me an insight check as you are making your way through this.
Ooh, I'm warming up. Insight is 18.
You think your plan is working, because as you shout there are no dead ends, what once was a dead end in front of you has now opened up.
I'll quickly step through.
Nice. Used to quickly step through.
I'm not taking that opening. I'm going left, as I said.
Meanwhile, does Crash actually understand what's going on here?
He's just running down random corridors, yelling out random directions.
Left, right, left. Okay.
Yep.
Give me a
Left, right, left.
give me a survival check as you're running down random corridors.
8.
8. You step back out into the open space with the broken door.
Ha ha ha! I made. Oh. I turn around and go back in.
You turn around and go back in again. That is going on behind you, Venfine. What are you doing?
Can I still see him?
Rots? No. It's the fog extends all the way up into the archways.
Okay. So I'm going to start making my way through, but I'm also doing the same thing where I'm yelling opposite directions, but now I'm also yelling in Elvish and in riddles. I'll be yelling like, the fish went upstream towards the polar bears in the ice Arctic and in the middle of summer, and I'm actually like running other ways and like just yelling random shit.
I like it. Give me an initiative check, please.
Oh, hey, it's not bad. That's hang on. What's my plus to that though? That was a 16 plus. What's my initiative?
Below your weapons.
Below. Oh, there it is. Okay, 16 plus 3, 19.
19. You beat him. What you realize is all this chaos that you're throwing out, quite literally, has got him confused as to where you're going. So as you're stepping forward, he's closing walls behind you, not in front of you anymore. He's now trying to catch you as you're making your way through this maze.
Since I'm not taking attack action, may I dash?
Yeah, well, dashing is difficult because it's all white. So it's oftentimes noticing a gap by a slight shade difference as a bit of a corner or a tone of shade. But you are making your way through this thing quite steadily.
Woohoo!
Skados, back to you. Are you doing anything different or are you continuing with your plan?
Yeah, I feel like this is very successful. I will continue with my plan.
Absolutely. Give me a deception check, because you are the only one who's actually doing the I'm going left instead of right, I'm going right instead of left. It's difficult to maintain that and for him to not work out your little plan.
Yeah, in the meantime, so with my deception check, I hopefully am capable of suddenly announcing the right directions that I'm going.
Aha, that would be the trick, yes.
15.
Well, whatever you're doing, his doors and archways are not sealing behind you. That is definitely the case. Lunging and plunging back into this craziness, what are you doing?
Second verse, same as the
Crash.
first. Just moving through, trying to and the thing is I'm not deliberately saying the opposite of the direction I'm going, even though I was the one that suggested it. I'm just like random numbers. Oh damn, a dead end. Left, downwards, upwards, backwards, forwards.
Right.
And I'll keep basically barreling, as basically follow the rules of like forward and then keep your hand on the left wall, and if you come across the thing, try and turn left.
All right. Yes. Give me a wisdom check, if you please.
That is a 11.
11. All right. Unfortunately, the lab rat who uses the we're going left just does not realize that they're actually trapped in an actual circle. So left works really well.
Yep.
But it all looks the same.
Exactly.
That brings us to Venfine. You think you have made significant progress. You've passed in the fog 3 pillars. You think you counted 5 or 4 before you disappeared into it. Are you doing anything different?
So this time I'm going to start shouting directions to see if he will close off the ones I was saying, but I'm going to be still doing it in Elvish riddles where it's like, owls fly underground while chairs eat, left, eastward, piddle turtles. And so I'll say left, and hoping he'll close off to the left of me while I continue going down. So in the middle of my riddles, I'm throwing out directions.
I like it. Give me an intelligence check.
My intelligence is not as good as my wisdom, so that is a 12.
On a 12, you hear laughter. You are all failures. All of a sudden, the fog around you erupts with this white steam, which just starts to burn at any part of the exposed flesh. And you all take 6 points of acid damage.
Ooh.
Did I make it any further through the maze, though?
You're not convinced anymore that you had actually made progress. You think you may have made some progress, but you're not sure. It doesn't feel like it anymore. After that spray, it's like, there's a certain, perhaps, depression kicking in. Skydos, after that burn, what are you trying to do?
I will just push forward. I have the feeling that I briefly saw the stairs already, but I have no idea where they are right now. But still,
Yes.
I'm like, I'm almost there.
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Nice. That counts as 2 successes. Brilliant. What you do is you very briefly pass Venfine, and as you do so, you notice that you are definitely at the base of the stairs. Infuriatingly, the stairs are walled off by this line of fog. There must be a way past, but where it is, you're not entirely sure. Back in the chamber somewhere else, is Korash going to try anything different? Because the left thing, you're starting to get giddy.
Yes. I'm feeling a bit dazed and dizzy. Korash shakes his head. He looks around and sees the various corridors. This isn't getting me anywhere. I'll take the ivory hammer, which
Yes.
I've now named Calico.
Okay.
And I am going to swing Calico towards one of the walls, preferably if I've got some reasonable bearings of north, south, east, and west, in the direction I think, because in the direction I think is the west.
All right. Absolutely. Make your attack.
17.
17 is a hit. Do your damage. Again, adding 2d. No, this is not a construct, so it's just the regular damage.
Okay, so that is 9 damage.
9 damage. All right, I will take that. You bash on the wall, and it seems to hold for a moment, but then it dissipates, allowing you to step forward.
I'm coming for you.
Venfin, you are the last to act. You saw Skardos very briefly.
Okay. Do I see the stairs?
You haven't yet seen the stairs, no.
Okay. So I want to cast. I want to make sure I don't use all my spells. I want to cast Healing Word on myself.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to start saying, I've never been a failure because you remember, or you don't know this, but I was born in flames. I literally am a fire mage, basically.
Nice.
I have so many spells that are fire.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
That is 18 plus my wisdom. That's 22.
As you say that, are you casting any kind of fire?
I'm casting Healing Word,
Healing
but
Word.
I'm taunting him at this point. Like, I'm not
Yes.
scared of your shit.
As you taunt him, it seems to work because the fog suddenly vanishes. Not him. The fog suddenly vanishes. And he is floating at the top. Insufferable fools! If the fog will not kill you, then I shall do it myself.
So Healing Word is a bonus action, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to cast my second level spell and cast Moonbeam on him.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just going like, and Moonbeam. It's a giant radius. I pulled it up. Hang on.
Yeah.
5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, so it'll hit him when he's floating.
Yeah.
First time they enter a spell on its turn, it is engulfed in flames, causing searing pain. It must make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, so it's a 5-foot square, which is about the size of
A cylinder. And it's tall, and so it just goes up to the ceiling.
So there's your moonbeam for you.
And he must make a Constitution saving throw.
A Constitution saving throw. That is, he's going to get a 14.
14 was the DC.
No, sorry. He's +6, so 17. My apologies.
Okay. So he'll take half damage on this.
Yes.
Still 2d10 damage.
Nice.
Oh, I rolled a 9 and a 7, so that's 16. So he'll take 8 damage.
8 damage. Excellent.
For a failed throw, that's not bad.
Beam of light shreds some of his clothing. The black robe starts to tear and fray. He is not happy about that. But now we go into initiative.
Hey.
9.
Venfi, did you see my hammer broke the maze?
Good job, buddy. That is a 12. I didn't roll
17.
Time.
12, 17, and 16. Crash, you're going first. What are you doing?
Crash is going to charge the stairs. Now, obviously, I can't charge up the stairs because,
Yeah.
you know, the terrain. But what I want to do is, rather than hitting him, I want to take a huge arcing swing at the staircase and hurl rubble and stone up the stairs, like basically like ballast, up towards where that guy happens to be.
Interesting. All right. Make your attack.
17.
17. You slam into the side of the stair where it's already cracked, causing a ballistic like shrapnel to sail up into the air. You may roll your damage as you cause this spray of stone shards to burst out all over the area.
11 damage.
He fails his dexterity saving throw, so he will take that as it splinters against him. However, you realize that the piercing little shards of rock, they puncture through his robe, but you see them puncturing out on the other side. Some of them anyway. Some of them chip against the actual bone of his rib cage. You have no power here, he says as he raises his hand and simply, firstly, he's going to drift. Oh, not him. He's going to drift back, so he steps out of the moonbeam, and then he raises his skeletal hand. Darvor Korgo! And as he finishes his spell, this beam of black energy surges out from his hand directly towards you, Korash. And he gets to make a spell attack. And he hits a dirty 20 armor class.
Yeah, that'll hit me.
That will hit you. What you do notice is that this tendril is almost at its maximum length as it slams into you. And you take this cold, chilling pain washes out over your chest. Ooh, and you take 15 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Are you still standing?
I am still standing on 2 hit points remaining.
Well,
Is
that's
that all you got?
I have so much more. Meanwhile, it is now Venfiend's turn.
Benfiend will be like, what a coincidence, so do I, and I shove the moonbeam back into him against the wall.
Zorp.
He has to make another con save.
Constitution +6. His constitution roll was a 7, so that's 13.
Oh, he fails.
He fails.
2d10.
Infernal light!
Hey, 15.
Ah!
Burning my radiant beam.
What are you doing?
I'm just standing there pushing this beam into him.
Yes, nice. Skados.
Okay, I don't have much to give left, but I will walk over to Korash and I will put my
Yes.
hand on him and I will say, "We still need you, brother." And I will push my last D6 healing light into him. So I only have 1 left, so you can roll 1d6 and heal.
That is a 5.
Nice. You doing anything else, Skados?
Yeah, for now I will back up a little bit against one of the columns, the one that is closest to me in the south, behind it.
Behind it there.
Yeah.
All right, you backing up there, not a problem. Crash, what are you doing?
So Crash, feeling the healing energies from Skardos sort of flowing through him, I'm going to use my bonus action to use Second Wind, take a deep cleansing breath, and heal 10 points of damage.
There you go.
And I'm going to use my move action to step up, and as I do, I'm going to kind of use the two-handed weapon, but I'm going to kind of change my grip from the center of it all the way to the end of it.
Yeah.
As I approach, I'm going to say, "You have tainted this place, you unholy undead usurper, and you shall feel just how much power those who have each other can wield." And I raise my mace into the air, and the ivory light glinting off the moonlight from the moonbeam that's heading down, I want to arc my hammer straight down, following the arc of the moonbeam towards the crown on the head of this individual.
Lovely. Make your attack.
Please, dice. Seriously. Okay. That was really cool. Okay.
It's very dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was very dramatic. I don't need a 2. I mean, it's not a natural 20, but a 24.
That definitely hits. It definitely hits. Do your damage.
Right. That is 13 points of damage.
He howls.
Now, if I hit the crown, do I get the extra construct-y damage?
To the crown, not to him.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, roll it.
The crown takes 2 damage.
The crown is not amused. You slam into him. He crumbles backwards. As you deal that much damage to him, suddenly the whole chamber shudders. And a large portion of the roof seems to be collapsing inwards. I'm just reading here. I have to roll on this. Rolling a d6. It is a 1. And on a roll of a 1, a section of wall collapses on a PC. So, going 1-2, it is Skardos, 3-4 is Korash, and 5-6 is Venfine. It is 1, it's onto Skardos, I'm afraid.
No!
And you need to give me a dexterity saving throw as a large chunk of masonry suddenly comes falling down towards you. That column you were hiding behind just collapsed onto parts of you. And you take 6 points of damage as this masonry, this column just falls, spinning your leg, grazing your shoulder.
You alive?
Yeah, but I'm in the single digits now.
Me too.
Oh, great! Apart from Korash. Okay. So that was your attack, Korash. Next up is the Lord himself. He is going to move out of this moonbeam, although he suspects he is in serious trouble here. Come on. He's going to step to the side of it. And he now basically just reaches directly towards you, Korash, and... Yeah?
If he starts his turn in the moonbeam, also he goes up.
Well,
in
that's
flames.
the damage that you're rolling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says when it starts his turn, so he will still take damage from this.
Yes, but that's we have been doing that because you move it to him on your turn. You've been rolling the damage then, but that's because he will start his turn in there.
Okay.
He doesn't take damage twice, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. He reaches his hand towards you again, Arguvash, and that black energy just washes out of him. But this time he reaches for you with both his hands.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is he casting a spell close enough for me to...
Yes, he is, so you get an attack of opportunity.
All right. Oh, shut your mouth! That's 21.
That's a hit. Do your damage.
That is 11.
He passes his save for concentration, and his spell, I think, is going to hit you on an 18.
Yes, that will.
He is not looking good. You slammed into him. His whole one arm just crumbles to dust. But that black energy continues to pour out of him. It does hit you, I'm afraid. But not for as much damage as before. This is only 12 damage. As he's just pumping this black energy into you. Fool, you cannot defeat me, he says as his teeth are falling out of his skull. Venfin.
Okay, I'm gonna move the beam onto him again.
Wow.
Wow. That is.
Well, he has to make a
he has to make a save.
Right? Dex
Yeah.
save. He's prepared for you. He gets a 12.
Oh, he fails. He takes 11 damage.
11 damage. He reaches with his hand again towards you, Korash. As the moonbeam slams into him, you just watch as his bones disintegrate in light. And for a brief moment, you see into his eye sockets panic and perhaps fear. And then the metal crown clangs heavily to the flagstone, and there is no more of Count Rotz.
I'm gonna run over to Skados and try to get the rubble off him.
The moonbeam vanishes, as does him. There is silence all around.
I will pick up his crown.
It feels very cold. And you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh!
No, maybe. I don't know. Actually, my wisdom's not great. I have a wisdom of 0. Ah, I see. Well, that's a 3.
Well, that's interesting. All right. As you're picking up the crown, Venfin, you are trying to help Skados up. Skados, you see stained glass windows all around you. Most of them are ruined, but there are great big lumps of lead between each of the colored panes. You two are getting up?
Yes.
I'm gonna help him. Yeah.
Ow!
We should go check on the other guy that we threw down the hall and see if he lived.
Well, probably we should first collect the lead, right? Because it's on the way out. So
okay.
I will go to the first window and start.
I can't lift a lot of heavy things. You do that.
All right. The two of you notice that Korash has placed the crown upon his head. But other than that, Korash, you're fine.
No, I'm passing him, and I'm like, looking good, and go onto the window.
All right.
Crash, that's probably not the best idea.
You feel fine.
I feel fine.
And that's where we end the show.
Ah!
So,
Moonbeam! He's in single
Out of the
digits!
window.
Moonbeam!
out the window. Out the stained glass window. I'm out. I'm just out.
I have firebolt left! Firebolt!
Well, there you are, folks. We've played through some of this module correctly, and some of it, well, as they say, every great plan never survives first contact with the players.
Did the guy actually survive the walls?
Oh, yeah.
I'm invested in him.
You would have found him outside of the walls as a pale blue shade, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
If you had managed to get out of this place with Korash now in his new form or mental state. But yes, he had managed to gain a form of freedom from the place, indeed. So there you go.
And the plant person as well?
I beg your pardon?
My Dryad.
And
Yes, she is
Dryad?
absolutely released, for Korash now has a new plan. The previous host was undead and could not leave this vile place. But Crash is very much alive and
God
has an
damn it,
airship
Crash.
just waiting to take him somewhere much more useful.
To be fair, I did at the time intend to break it, but
Yeah,
c'est la vie, as it were.
All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun at least.
yes,
Yes.
a lot.
All right. Well, that's
It was
good.
so much fun.
That's
It was
good.
so
Thank
much
you very
fun.
much, guys. Thank you very much for running it for us and for writing it. It's amazing. It's a blast.
We had a good team of proofreaders as well who definitely
Yes.
contributed. So big thanks to them. And yes, pick up a copy of that module. It's free or pay what you like on Drive-Thru RPG. How to be a great GM. That's on www.greatgamemaster.com. And of course, it's on DungeonFog.com. And I promise you, your party will have so much more fun. There are things in here that these guys... they didn't come across, or they did, and they just worked around it in a very interesting way, which is why I love our hobby so much. Anyway, from all of us here at Dungeon Fog to all of you, thanks for watching, and until the next one, happy gaming. All right, there we go. Thanks, everybody.
Oh my god.
2.5